Tonight on Heat of the Drum, it's smoked meatloaf. Stick around. I think you're going to like this one. Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. My name is Steve. Today we are doing a smoked meatloaf. Now this recipe here is kind of a takeoff of my meatball sub recipe. So if you want to try a really good smoked meatball sub, check out that video and I'll link that at the end of this one. But the first thing we need to do today is get a rub made. So what we have here is a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard, and 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And let's get that mixed up. I'm going to thoroughly mix this. When you're done, it's going to look like that. All right, so our rub is made. Let's set that off to the side. And let's get working on this meat. Let's grab a big bowl here and see what we got. All right, so what I have here is 1.5 pounds of 80/20 ground chuck. We'll start off with that. 1 pound of breakfast sausage. I just happen to have Bob Evans. You know, use whatever one you want to use. Doesn't really matter too much. What I have here is 1/2 of a yellow onion that I chopped up into some chunks, and then I put it in a little food processor and got it chopped up pretty fine. Coming in with 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Half teaspoon of red pepper flake. 1.5 cups of panko breadcrumbs. 2 eggs. And our sauce of choice today is going to be old school Sweet Baby Ray's, just barbecue sauce. And we need 1/4 cup of the Sweet Baby Ray's. Half teaspoon of salt. Half teaspoon of pepper. Now it's going to get messy. Best way to do this is just get your hands on in there. And you want to thoroughly mix all of this. And you'll see it starting to come together. It'll start tightening up on you a little bit. And you can kind of tell. All right, so we got our meat mixed. And what I'm going to do just take a piece of wax paper and grab our meat mixture right here and start forming it into a meatloaf. All right, now that we got this shape the way we want, we're going to consider this the bottom. We're going to put our rub on here, flip it over, and then hit the top and finish getting the sides. Here we go. And we are going to hit this pretty heavy. We want a nice, good coating on this thing. So don't be stingy. Now's the fun part. we are going to flip it over. Just like that. And then you can kind of reform it. Just like that. And like I said, we are not being stingy. This is going to add a ton of flavor. Let's get in this front. And if you lost any, just scrape up what's on the wax paper. All right, once we got it where we want it, there's only one thing left to do. We got to get it off of here and get it onto, what I did is I just got a little wire rack that we're going to set that on. And here we go. And if you lose a little bit of your seasoning, use what's left on there. We still got some on here. We'll just come in here and re-hit it. Now you got a choice you can make. You can put this in the freezer and let it hang out for a couple hours, 2-3 hours, and this will harden up and solidify. And it'll kind of slow down the smoking process once you do get it in your smoker. Or what I'm going to do today, and I usually do freeze them, but I'm not doing that today. Today we are just going to take this, put it back in the fridge, let it hang out for an hour, and then work on getting our drum up to temp. And this thing will be going on. And we are keeping it simple today. I got some Cowboy Oak and Hickory Blend lump. And we're just adding some apple chunks. Definitely my favorite part of the day. Got us a bowl of hot water today. This has been hanging out in the fridge for an hour. Smoker's ready. Here we go. And I'm just going to try to get that in the center, just like that. There we go. All right, the meatloaf is on. Let's talk drum smoker temp. We're looking for 250, give or take, right around in that range. I'm going to let this go for an hour, hour and a half, right around in there. And then we'll get our first look at it and probably end up rotating too. I'll see you then. It's been an hour and a half. Let's get our first look at this meatloaf. Here we go. Oh yeah. Now the only thing we're going to do is rotate. And we're going to use the new ThermoPro temp spike again. I'm just going to simply, maybe I'll just come in from the kind of an angle right here. Just like that. All right, so we got our thermometer in there and we got the meat rotated. Now what I'm going to do, since I had an issue with this thing the last time I used it when it was real cold, it was about 19 degrees out. I lost communication. I think it was because this booster unit got too cold. So tonight, I'm just going to take this microfiber towel and I'm going to sit it on there. We're in the mid 30s right now, but it's going to start cooling off in the next hour or so. And I'm just going to try to keep that booster unit warm and see if that helps with the signal. So as you can see, the temp on that meatloaf is 113. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let that go to about 160. At 160, I'm going to get in there and put a little topping across the top and finish this thing off. I'll see you then. All right, we're hitting 160 on that meatloaf. Let's get a look. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Really nice. Now I'm just going to get a couple instant reads on here and let's see where we're at. 160. 158. Oh, 172 right there. Kind of all over the place. 150. Rotate this. Give it about another 10 minutes. And then we'll move on to the next step. All right, it's been another 10, 15 minutes. Now we're going to move on to the next step with the rest of this sweet baby raise. I no longer need this thermometer. We'll take that out of there. And look at this. And this thing is nice and moist, but we're going to come in here and hit with some of this sweet baby raise. Just like that. It's time. Let's get this meatloaf off. This thing looks so good. And all I'm going to do is come in with a little foil and loosely tent it for about 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Let's get a look at this thing. Here we go. Oh yeah. I tell you what, this smells so good. First thing we're going to do is get it off this rack. Here we go. Look at that. Here we go. Oh, man. Look at that. Smoked meatloaf. There's only one thing left for me to do is sample this. And man, it is moist. Woo, it is steaming hot. And it is good. Look at this. Steaming hot smoked meatloaf. All right, until I see you again the next time, remember, you can do this too. Till I see you next time on Heat of the Drum. You can eat it as is. You can put it on bread, meatloaf sandwich with a little cheese. Oh. Or just eat it the way it is.